Friends, how are you doing? It's Thursday in the market. Let's talk about what is happening right in front of us right now. So the market actually, starting off today, it wasn't too hot. We weren't getting a lot of movement. Actually, I was like thinking, oh, we might be going off in a big plunge here. But towards the end of the day, the market straightened out a little bit. Even SoFi closed over $11 today. That was pretty shocking. I figured it was going to hold around this 1070, 1060. Maybe 1080, but it fooled everyone and went up. But of course, we're just days away here with SoFi reporting their earnings. So a lot of things are probably going to start to move in this this way. They're going to start to move up a little bit because people know what's coming and they want to get in positions and start getting as low as they can. So obviously too that this is on the thought that the market is going to somewhat stay together here, but that could change any day now. So friends, thank you for being here, listening to me yap. Please stick around, subscribe. I really do appreciate that stuff. This channel, maybe we'll get to 20,000 subs. That would be insane. Never could have thought that was going to happen. Friends, let's dig in. First things first, I talked about Palantir last night, so I want to first go into BigBear because like every comment I was seeing last night was like, and today was like, why are you talking BigBear, talk about BigBear. So the newest news with BigBear, essentially is that there's no new news besides old news. And the old news, new news is that this this situation just keeps getting brought up and brought up again. Essentially, this guy right here wants you to contact him so you can sue BigBear and get money. Now, obviously, the situation that is being talked about here is when over a month ago at this point now, BigBear came out with these filings saying, hey, we have had some interruptions, some problems in our past financials from 2022, 23, 1 and 24 quarterly wise, and we are going to go over this and make it right. And still, they're still working on that. So now you're seeing stuff like this where these fraud investigation with the Shaw law firm, they're wanting investors to reach out if they feel like they need to go after BigBear and they've been taken advantage of as an investor. So, this obviously is news you don't want to see as an investor with BigBear. This is not what BigBear needs right now at all. Now, the question is, how bad is this affecting the stock price? I mean, it's hard to say. It's negative news. Let's not get that wrong. It's negative. I think everyone will agree with that. But BigBear to me still, and I know people get sick of me saying this because I get sick of myself saying it, but BigBear is still in this realm of it's a lottery ticket at this point. It's a maybe something big could happen here very fast, and we need something to happen here very fast. So, the bullet point situation of what has been going on here with BigBear is that since November of last year, October, November, right around there, BigBear out of nowhere received this huge government contract spread out over a handful of years, almost $200 million, in which that's not a lot. That's not a lot compared to a lot of AI stocks. I completely understand that, and it's cut up throughout the years here. But on top of that, they got another one in December. They got another one in January. Littler ones, not as big, but they got littler deals with the government defense here. So what we expect to happen here with these next quarterlies, essentially Q1 could be a very telltale sign that something better could be coming here towards the end of the year with BigBear here, is that we could see these financials start to compound, and maybe, just maybe, BigBear could come out with a decent quarterly here. And I say the word decent. I'm not saying like amazing. I don't know that they're going to be amazing, but I suspect that they could be decent where people go, okay, this is the right direction. This is better. This is what we want to see as investors here. So that could happen here, but obviously we don't know. We really just don't know here. And obviously, and there's a lot of obvious things here, but to use that word over and over, but BigBear could have gotten more deals we don't even know about, and that's the thing that I want to see more personally with these quarterlies. I want to see if BigBear comes out and says, hey, we've actually acquired these other deals, this money has come from here. I would like to see this quarterly just hit at least, just be positive. I'm not looking for a face melting quarterly here. I'm just looking for something to at least be positive for Big Bear right now. I think that's the main thing. Main things that Big Bear needs, they need more money, they need more contracts, big contracts. If not big contracts, more contracts. And two, to start paying off more debt. They have debt and they need to start paying it off. Obviously, I've been saying this from the beginning here for a while now. Big Bear is not a get-rich-quick scheme situation here. This is going to be a hard love life here with Big Bear, trying to see if this stock can get more deals, get their quarterlies together here, start pay off more deal. Can the stock survive, weather the storm that we have in front of us in the market right now, with this unstable market? Obviously we've had our good days and we've had our really bad days here. I dare say we haven't really had our very good days as of late. We've just had okay days and then really bad days. Now, I do think we are going into a situation with the market. The market is in la la land right now, where everyone's just avoiding the tariff situation that is hanging over us with China, and the fact that they've been pushed back to 90 days here to the beginning of July. So the market's going, okay, well, you know what? We're just going to do what we do, and we're all buying and selling and trading stocks right now, betting for them, against them, whatever you're doing. And we probably won't talk about tariffs probably until somewhere in June again, and then everyone's going to freak out again, and then the market could just sell off once again. So whatever positions that are being built right now with a lot of stocks, I don't know how much of those positions will stand strong going into July if we start talking about tariffs again. So I not that that's going to happen, but that's kind of what I think is going to happen personally, and that's kind of what I'm banking on with what the evidence that we have before us. So saying that, Big Bear, I'm praying that it could weather the storm of what is coming here, that these quarterlies could be somewhat positive for them, that for God's sakes, maybe they can get another deal. And obviously too, I keep seeing people talk about this situation that Big Bear could get some kind of big deal with NATO, the United States government, with the tariff situation, kind of, using their platform, their business model to help with that transaction, global trade. And of course, Kevin came out here, 2 weeks ago now with a tweet that the new CEO, Kevin here, talking about the Big Bear could help, leader, all that kind of stuff with that situation. Now, I don't know if that was Kevin leaving breadcrumbs for investors, saying like, hey, there's hope out there, we're doing something. And two, obviously, we know that Kevin has a background knowing Trump. We know that now, we know that Kevin has a military background in that pocket, that family. And more than likely, yes, he is rubbing shoulders with people inside the administration right now. I don't think it's any coincidence that they've been getting government contracts. There's obviously something going on here. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that Big Bear can weather the storm that's coming. But like I was saying, with the fantasy land that we are living in right now with the stock market, with this short little time of breathing until tariffs come back up, we could see the market, next week, and especially the week after that, the end of April here, start to really do better, because we're going to be getting in here towards the end of April and beginning of May, into quarterlies. Q1'S for a lot of, especially all the tech companies, just companies in general. We're going to start seeing what is going on here. And this is really going to be a telltale sign for the whole economy, the whole market, how bad have tariffs affected some of these tech companies, which ones are affected, not affected, but things like Big Bear and Palantir, they really shouldn't be affected by the tariff situation, because they don't have a physical product that they're selling and trying to trade back and forth overseas. So, they're not like a chip company. This isn't that situation. They are software, what they have. So and this is why the attention could shift really hard here, if Big Bear and Palantir could do well with quarterlies here coming up, and maybe we see our chip companies or just our tech companies that have an actual product more than software, maybe they take damage here, what we're expecting with their Q1s here, and we see more of the software-driven tech companies do well, and then the focus starts to become more, on them. So Big Bear could get in a little bit of a feeding frenzy here if we can get the market straightened out a little bit here for a moment. So, but that's the fairy tale story. That's what we want to happen. Is that going to happen? I don't know. I don't know. It's just I'm gossiping right now. That's what I want to happen, but there's no telling that's going to happen. So, Big Bear is trying to hold this $2 in, midway point, $2.50 range. Is it going to do it? I don't know. I'm wanting it to get to at least back to $3. I don't like this $2.50 range. I want it back at $3. It's a better place, obviously. Obviously I want to see it more than $3. I want to see it at $4, $5, $6. But right now it's just with this lingering situation that keeps coming up with these law firms releasing articles. They're paying to have these articles released nonstop. Until this is done, this is going to be, a situation of what it is. In this situation right now, it doesn't affect what's coming up here with the quarterlies with Big Bear. The deals are still happening. They have not lost any deals. They've still gained deals. They're still on track to make somewhere around 170, maybe 80, 90 would be nice, $170 million this year so far. And that's really all we know. And that's the only news that we can go off of right now. Now, talking about Palantir, when we talk about Palantir, this is a completely different situation. I mean, this is like night and day. Now we have Palantir over here who is just making all the money. They just received this huge deal with NATO. It's getting wrapped up, paperwork getting signed, probably hasn't even dried yet. Palantir here has been just, almost at $100 again. Today we saw some sell-off. The market was a little scared, and from yesterday. But all in all, Palantir is just on this run. It is, oh my God, this is why you're paying such, is Palantir overpriced? Of course it's overpriced. The stock price it doesn't match what the market cap is what you're paying. But it's the unknown, it's the FOMO, it's the what is to come. Are they going to have a 50% gain on top of their last quarterly? Maybe more. Is this going to be the quarterly where they make $1 billion? Probably more at this point. So the thing that's still been going on here with Palantir, believe it or not, they've still been acquiring deals. They've been doubling down on deals. They've been extending deals. I mean, they haven't stopped making freaking money. So obviously Palantir has a product that companies want, and this is where people go the resemblance with Palantir and Big Bear. Okay, so obviously two different companies when it comes to finances. Okay, let's just go ahead and put the line in the sand right there. But there is a situation, yes, I get, when Palantir really started its growth and its earnings on top of government contracts. That was really what got Palantir really going with big deals. And so that's why people go like, well, maybe this could happen with Big Bear. Maybe. Who knows? And that's okay. We'll take it. If that's what gets Big Bear going and out of the rut that it's in, that's fine. It's only been 2 years now that Palantir's just been like killing it, murdering it. And this year is no different. This year is even bigger from what it's looking like. So with Palantir about to report earnings here too, these could, undoubtedly, these will be the biggest quarterlies they've had to yet. The question is, are they going to be like volcano burning down Pompeii, quarterlies where it's just like, oh my freaking God, are these quarterlies going to be like 50, maybe more than 50% on top of their last quarterly? Okay. Is this why we're having to pay such a high price for Palantir? Because they keep just hitting these astronomical, unbelievable, step ups on quarterlies with from 30% to 40% 35%. We're going into 40% here. What are they going to do? Are we going to flush over $1 billion? I don't want to say anything crazy. I mean, like, what if they made like 1.5 billion off this quarterly? What do you think that would do? Maybe $100 would be cheap at that point. Palantir would go freaking nuts. It would go crazy nuts. ETFs that Palantir's a part of would go nuts. That's why I've been telling people to look at the Granny Fund ETF, because Palantir is right in that. And when Palantir was running here Monday, Tuesday especially, the Granny Fund was running, because the Granny ETF, because Palantir is a heavy stock right now and people want it. So friends, I think it's the waiting around, but I still think this market obviously is leaving plenty of room for a lot of stocks to find entry points, sell points, restart the situation. Entry points, sell points, restart the situation. From a Monday through a Friday, you're able to find pockets of trades and then build positions on that, because the market, like I've said, if I make a t-shirt, this is going to be the t-shirt right now, is that the theme of the market is the market's not going to get away from you. It's just not going to get away from you. So don't worry about it. It's you're going to lose it. You're not going to lose it. We saw that Tuesday, the market was going crazy and people were buying Palantir at almost $100 a share, and now Palantir is falling back down to this decent price, low 90 range, but still very high. But look where we're at now. So friends, I'm excited. We're getting so close to these quarterlies. It's just the waiting game right now, following the market, seeing what's happened. But undoubtedly, these quarterlies with Palantir, they will be good. Okay, they will be good. Big Bear, we're hoping and we're praying that something is going to be good with these quarterlies, that it shows some sort of sign of we're on the right track. Okay. I don't think these are going to be the quarterlies where they blow minds and, the stock runs at $10. I'm not even looking for that. I know that's not going to happen, because if whatever deal that would possibly make that happen, we have no evidence of that happening. So all we can go off of investors is what we know with Big Bear. And what we know is they've gotten some pretty good deals, and we should see some decent quarterlies. The question is, will it be enough? Will it at least be $50 million quarterly? I hope so. I really do hope so. Friends, good luck out there. I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Bye, everyone.